Hi everyone, it's Bailey. I'm sorry I'm looking like a very hot mess right now, but I just wanted to make a quick video talking about the initial responses to my first voicemail, my Ringless voicemail campaign that I made a separate video of. If you want to see how I set that up, check that out. And before I get started, I just want to ask you to please like and please subscribe to my channel. So I did also want to add that at the end of this video, I will be including all the things I learned from this experience and the different tips that I suggest on how to deal with different types of people, because obviously some people might be angry with you, other people might be asking you, oh, so what do you know about my house? I don't know, just different situations that I'm going to go over at the end. So please stick around, watch the whole video. Hi, I just wanted to say that I just sent out my first batch of the Ringless voicemails, and I got a bunch of calls in a very short period of time, and so I let them go to voicemail, and I was very scared. So that's why I started drinking this glass of wine. But so I got 13 calls back, let them go to voicemail because they all kind of came in at the same time, and I was eating and I was scared. The first voicemail was a very angry man, or actually that was kind of dramatic, just a relatively angry man calling me, wanting to know how I got his number and how I have his address and how I know his name. So I was really scared, and I decided to give him a call back because I didn't want this man to think that I was stalking him or anything. And I just kindly explained to him, or at first I called and he picked up and was like, hi, you called me. I need to know how you know my name and know my address and my phone number. And I was thinking, like, how do I handle this? Do I get defensive or do I apologize? Like, what do I do? Like, I don't want this man to like call the cops on me. So I figured, not that that's illegal at all. I don't know. I was just being paranoid. But so I called him back and he asked me how I got all that stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, sir, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want to make you feel like intruded, or I don't want to make you feel intruded in any way. I'm just calling to apologize and explain that I'm looking for different properties, and your address was just on my large list of properties that fit that fit the type of home that I was looking for. And so I went on the tax assessor public records and I was able to find your name, and I just went on white pages online to get your number. Like, I'm so sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. Basically, I just wanted to make him feel bad for making me, or make him feel bad for getting mad at me, I guess. And it totally worked. He was like, oh, but how do you know my name and number? I was like, I'm sorry, sir, like, I wasn't targeting you in any way. I just feel so terrible. Like, I just want to call and make you feel comfortable. And he was like, oh, okay, so I wasn't the only person that you called. And I was like, no, sir, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just want to let you know that I am apologizing. And he ended like, oh, okay, okay, I understand. Thank you for calling me and clearing that up. I appreciate it. And I was like, yay. He totally liked me by the end. Not actually liked me, but he didn't want to call the cops on me. Then I got a second voicemail saying, hello, this is blah blah blah, calling about my property at blah 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 blah. Like, can you give me a call back at blah 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 blah. Didn't sound angry at all, so I'm about to call him back and see how that goes. I guess I should record it. I don't know. And then I have 13 other missed calls that they didn't leave a voicemail, so I'll have to call them back too. That's why I cracked open this bottle of wine, because it makes calling these people a lot easier. I highly suggest it. Okay guys, so I just finished up calling. Sorry, a loud motorcycle's driving by. So I just finished calling back all the 13 numbers that called me after my first Ringless voicemail campaign. It's only been about an hour, so I'm still expecting maybe some more calls. But the first guy that I was talking about was the only angry guy. And actually, I'm really pleased with my results. None of them seemed like they were super like distressed sellers, but like I talked about in other videos, I am in the process of getting my realtor license, and so I did talk to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 out of the 13 people that called me back do have properties that they're interested in selling. They, based on when I talked to them, it didn't sound like it would be like a wholesale opportunity where they wanted to sell their property super quick because they were in a tight situation or anything. But I am calling a high equity list, so a lot of these people, from the sounds of it, are people that are older, possibly retired, don't really feel like being a landlord anymore. So they are interested in selling, but possibly traditionally. I have not advertised that I'm an agent because that would be unethical because I'm not yet. But I am taking these numbers and listing them in a separate place for me to call back once I do have my license, and can follow up with them and say that I would like to list their property. I'm actually overwhelmed by the amount of nice people that I just talked to, considering the first voicemail I got was from the scary man. But yeah, I don't know if it's the wine, but I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, I feel like overall, especially since I'm getting my license, that this was a total win for me, especially for my first campaign. That cost me, it was, I think, like not even $100 to send all those voicemails out, and of course I also paid for the list and the skip tracing, so probably cost around $500 for that, but I haven't called everyone on the list yet, so bueno. So now I am about to go to bed, but I did want to include the different lessons that I learned from this experience and pass them off to you guys. Hopefully you'll have use of them. So the first thing I already talked about, I talked about that guy who left the angry-ish voicemail on my phone in response to the voicemail. And what I learned from that is that a lot of these people will be wondering how you got their information. Of course, if a stranger calls you knowing your phone number, your name, and your address, there is a possibility that you might feel threatened, especially if you don't realize that this information is public record. And I obviously am a stranger to them, so I don't feel offended that they were insulted at first by the call. And so what I learned from that, I actually went on Bigger Pockets and kind of researched, like, what do I do? Because I like to research everything. Like, what do I do if the angry seller, blah, blah, blah. And so one person on there had mentioned the tactic of, he called it, I think, falling back on your own sword. So basically, apologizing so much that it almost makes them feel uncomfortable by how sorry you feel, and they'll start to feel compassionate for you. And I totally noticed from my experience that that totally worked on that one guy, at least. And a lot of other sellers that called back, not necessarily mad, were wondering, oh, well, how did my name come up on your list? And to that I just said, I am interested in different areas in the town. I pulled a bunch of different listings and were able to find the owners based on public record. I'm not specifically targeting you in any way. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I am just doing this to see if I can gauge any interest from the people I reach out to. And this tended to make people feel a lot more comfortable because they know that, oh, okay, they're not like sitting outside my house or anything with like a camera trying to get my house from me. Just know I'm so sorry about that. Like, just know I'm so sorry. I did not want to make you feel threatened anyway. I'm not any type of stalker, and that their house just fit the criteria, and I figured I would reach out to them to see if we could potentially make out a beneficial relationship anyway. And to that, people responded really well, and were like, oh, okay, either said yes or no. Another thing that I realized after doing these calls is that a lot of people are going to have assumed that you have already done research into their house and want you to give them a range or even an offer on the spot. And so I talked to a woman, and she was saying, oh yeah, I actually do have 2 properties in the area that I'm looking to sell, that I listed down to call back in the future once I have my license in about like a month from now. And so she was asking, oh, well, what do you know about the house? And like, what do you have any insight on what it could be worth? So obviously, I've just pulled these lists from list source. I haven't looked into the houses at all. So the way that I countered this was, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Like, I am calling a huge list of people. I know it's going to take hundreds of people before I hit someone that is actually interested. So I don't want to waste my time or anyone else's time by looking into the house beforehand. This round of calls are just to gauge some interest. And I also don't want to come across as a creepy person in any way and be looking into your house unauthorized and coming up as a stranger saying that, oh, I've been checking out your house and I know this and this and this. I know the square feet. I know it has a backyard. I don't want to come across like that. And I think that also aided in the whole conflict of people coming off defensive. So if you just explain that I haven't even looked into the house, I just wanted to gauge some interest, I found that that really helped me come across as not some weird creep that is trying to steal their house from them. And I think that really helped. So that's all I have, but thank you so much for watching my video. I'm hoping to put out a lot more content, but right now I am in real estate school for most of the day, full time, so perhaps the videos might slow down because the amount of things that I can do in the meantime are pretty limited. But I will be posting a video talking about my website that I'm in the process of making, and that's all I have. But please like and subscribe the video. I'd appreciate it so much. Thank you. Goodbye.